This year has been great for budget smartphones, with manufacturers like Motorola making a variety of smartphones with affordable prices like their G series. The G Stylus might be one of the most unique ones out of the budget lineup because of the inclusion of a stylus and its affordable price tag. My name is Victor Kamanga. Here is my review on it. The G Stylus has a refined aesthetic with a glossy back that's less flashy but loves to collect fingerprints. The device's back is plastic and starts off with a pretty attractive textured pattern. Moving around the body, we've got a micro SD card / SIM tray on the left, volume buttons on the right, and Motorola's signature fingerprint scanner integrated within the power button, which comes in pretty handy and looks clean. The top of the G Stylus is bare and the bottom is packed. There's a headphone jack, a USB-C charging port, a speaker, and a port for the stylus which clicks in and out pretty easily. The display on the G Stylus is nothing fancy. It's a standard 60Hz refresh rate LCD panel. It gets decently bright. It's still pretty usable outside. It's definitely not the most brightest panel I've seen. It's large at 6.8 inch and has a 1080p resolution and a hole punch camera cutout that kind of reminds me of the Google Pixel. With this huge panel, I have to say the device is large and definitely on the heavier side of things. The stylus itself is a thin pen around and slightly longer than your average index finger, with a mesh tip at the screen touching and a pop-out cap on the other end. The stylus still doesn't have any smart functionality, but it's been implemented a little bit better into the actual design of the phone. Instead of having to pry the stylus out with your fingernail, you can just push the button and the accessory pops out. Now, popping it out brings up a quick menu of shortcuts to stylus-friendly apps. There's a note-taking app and a shortcut to take and annotate screenshots. You can also jot down a quick note without actually unlocking the screen. It also has an inbuilt coloring book. It has a basic set of features, nothing too advanced like the Galaxy Note series, but it does have a couple of neat stuff that will come in pretty handy for anybody looking for a stylus with their phone. This device is rocking a Snapdragon 678 processor with 4 gigs of RAM and an Adreno 612 GPU. This combination feels more than enough for day-to-day tasks. App load pretty quickly and jumping between apps feel pretty snappy. I have to say there is occasional hiccups when you do have apps opened up in the background, but I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. It's kind of expected for a smartphone around this price range. The device does come with 128 gigs of internal storage, which can be expanded with a micro SD card up to 512 gigs. The G Stylus ships with Android 10 along with stock Android. Motorola takes a light-handed approach with My UX Skin. Its custom skin is largely about user customization, though there are a few useful tweaks. The stock Android experience is one of the best offered in this price range. Moto Actions is an incredibly useful feature that allows you to complete common tasks with gestures. Want to take a screenshot? Place 3 fingers on the screen. Need to turn on Do Not Disturb? Just flip the phone over. This seriously works like a charm. The new Moto G Stylus comes with a triple rear camera array that appeared on its predecessor, with a 48 megapixel main shooter, 8 megapixel ultra wide lens, 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor, as well as a 16 megapixel selfie shooter. The phone's 48 megapixel main shooter is a standout here, capturing good clarity and providing balanced colors for casual daytime shots. The quality fades a bit under low light conditions, merging dark colors into pockets of black or deep brown. The ultra-wide camera is noticeably worse, which also doesn't produce as sharp of photos, which is understandable given its lower megapixel count, but it's still a great daylight alternative when trying to get more subjects and landscapes in the frame. The macro lens is, like most other macro lenses, a bit of a struggle to get focused on the subject, but produces decent shots. On the other hand, the 2 megapixel depth sensor is not too gimmicky and it provides decent looking portrait photos. The 16 megapixel selfie camera produces excellent shots in good lighting conditions, but the background gets a little soft. The low light shots are flat, blurry, and have a lot of noise in them. The G Stylus can record up to 4K at 30 FPS with no issues, and 1080p at 60 FPS. It also supports EIS, which stands for Electronic Image Stabilization, which provides good image stabilization during recording video, and I have to say it does work pretty decent. The device comes with a 4000 mAh battery, which is decent but just enough to get you through the day, even though Motorola claims it can get you up to 2 days, which is quite a stretch. I had no problem getting it through a full day, and maybe a day and a half sometimes, but 2 days is kind of unrealistic unless you're going to be barely using your phone. The device does come with a 10-watt charger. Even with turbo power, the charging speeds are not that fast. It would have been great if Motorola at least gave it an 18-watt charging speeds, which can be really great for last-minute quick charging. Overall, Motorola has done a great job at making budget phones this year, and the G Stylus is no exception. It has all the features of a budget smartphone plus a stylus, which comes in pretty handy. Still, one of the major downsides is the lack of 5G support, which some of the devices in its lineup do offer. Moto G Stylus is a great phone. If you are considering buying a phone with a stylus but don't want to put a hole in your pocket, then the G Stylus is probably for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, this has been Victor Kamanga with another Everything Technology video. I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one. Bye.